The Laws of Gold. Some time ago, I read a book called The Richest Man in Babylon, and I want to be wealthy. And how do you become wealthy? Well, how do you do anything? You have to model people who are already doing that thing. You model wealthy people. If you wanted to be a musician, you model musicians. You go to a musician and take music lessons. You wanted to be anything, you model a person who's already doing a great job. This book, The Richest Man in Babylon, I don't know if I think it's fiction. But it's one of the best-selling books. One of the best-selling books of all time. It was written, I don't know, maybe like 7 years ago, but it sold millions of copies and still selling lots of copies even now. I bought mine for $7. You should go out and buy it, or I bet you could even download it on the internet for free. One of the main things in the book is the 5 laws of gold. And if you follow the 5 laws, you will make money. And you will make money, but it won't happen overnight. I can promise you that. But it will happen. No matter how much money you have, or how much money you think you don't have, you can be the star of the story who became the richest man in Babylon. He was actually a slave, I believe. He was a slave who bought his way out of his. No, actually, he wasn't a slave. He worked as a tablet maker, but there was a slave in the story as well. There was 2 stories. When I first read the book, I kind of go overboard when I learn something. When I first read the book, I made a website about how awesome the book was, and I tried to make affiliate programs. I tried to make money slowly. And the thing is, no one cared about. People read what I had to say, and no one cared. And I was sending emails and showing some people, always trying to get the word out. And at the time, I was teaching chess, and I was in some other city, and I was updating my website. And a friend of mine who's also teaching chess with me in the same city, and he saw me updating my website, and he said, "Oh my God, what's that website about?" And I was like, "Oh, it's about making money." He's like, "Okay." And he dropped his bags, and he came in close. I said, "I want you to explain to me. Let me see the website. I want to see everything. Teach me. I want to see." And I said, "Okay." I started explaining to him. He said, "Wait. Is this a get-rich-quick scheme?" And I said, "No, absolutely not. You won't get rich quick doing this." And he said, "Then what the hell am I listening to you for?" And I started laughing, and I was like, "Wait a minute. What? Why do you want a get-rich-quick scheme?" He's like, "Look, I want a get-rich-quick scheme because I work hard, I'm smart, and I want to get a get-rich-quick scheme, and I know that most of them don't work, but I know that the people that they do work some of the times, and there are people who, when it works for them, they make a lot of money, but then everybody else, they get screwed." I was perplexed. I couldn't believe. I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Look, what you're talking about is a get-rich-slow scheme. A get-rich-slow scheme, is crazy. Why would you want a get-rich-slow scheme? If everybody did a get-rich-slow scheme, everybody would be rich. Who wants that?" And I looked at him, and I was like, he made so much sense to me that eventually, a couple months later, I closed my site down because who the hell wants to pay for a get-rich-slow scheme? I understood him, but no one makes money. People who make money really quickly have a tendency of making it go away. It just goes away. So even if you are working at McDonald's or unemployed or have nothing, just complete backwards debt, asking for money on the street, if you're given time and you follow the laws of gold, more gold will come. So let's talk about the laws of gold. First, gold cometh gladly and increasing quality to any man who will put forth, or who will put by no less than 1/10 of his earnings to create an estate for his future and that of his family. Okay, let's read that again. Gold cometh gladly and increasing quantity to any man who will put no less than 1/10 of his earnings to create an estate for his future and that of his family. What does that mean? Does that mean you should save 10% of your money every month, like your parents said you should do, for a rainy day? No. You can, if you want to, if it makes you feel comfortable, save away. This is not savings. Savings is something totally different. What they're saying is you should put 10%, at least 10% of your money aside for investing. It says to create an estate, but that money should be put aside to invest in something, to invest in someone, to invest in a company, to invest in a thing. It's for investing. You might be saying to yourself, 10% of whatever I have is nothing. If 10% of what you have is nothing, then you have to do one of two things. One, you could and should work harder on your job, even if you hate it. Work harder, or get better at your job. Go to school, increase your knowledge about your job, increase your skills. Make yourself invaluable to the company. Something that would increase your income. That's one thing. And the second thing is to change your money management skills, change your money habits. A few years ago, I was basically homeless. I had nothing. I'm not homeless. I guess I live with my mom. Now I'm almost retired. How is that possible? One of the books I read, and in fact, almost all of the books that I've read about building wealth, people who've made money, almost all of them, every single one, almost all of them say the same thing. You make money by managing your money. The highest paid people in the world aren't necessarily rich. A lot of them are broke. A lot of them spend way more than they make, and they're just living off the next check, which is what most people do anyway. If you can manage your money, if you can manage $1, if you could learn to manage $1, this is something I learned in a book. If you learn to manage $1, then you'll be able to manage $5. If you can learn to manage $5, then you'll be able to manage 20, and then so on and so forth, and then more money will come. The first step is putting aside 10% of your earnings specifically to create an estate, specifically to make more money. Must. I've tried following this as much as possible. Sometimes, sometimes things get tricky. I actually changed careers specifically for this rule. I used to teach chess all around the country, and with chess, it's seasonal. There's some months where I make a lot of money and I put 10% aside, and then some months I have no money, and then I'm like, wow, I should use 10%. Kind of sucks for me. So, yeah, that first step is extremely, extremely important. You must. Even if you're not doing it now, think about it. Think about ways to save your money in order to take 10% and invest. Okay, step 2. Step 2 is just as important. Gold laboreth diligently and contentedly for the wise owner who finds for it profitable employment, multiplying even as the flocks of the field. Okay. Gold laboreth. One moment. Keep again and take the screensaver off. Let me just pause. Gold laboreth diligently and contentedly. Just pause it real quick. Okay. Gold laboreth diligently and contentedly for the wise owner who finds for it profitable employment, multiplying even as the flocks of the field. It's very simple. It's saying you should find and look for it. It doesn't mean go out. It doesn't mean to throw your money around. You save 10%, and with that money, what it does is it's exciting. You have money aside, and you should be looking for money, looking for employment for your money. That's it. It's like your job, your money is unemployed, and you're going out looking for applications, looking for stuff. And this site was one of the ideas that I had to employ my money. Okay, I don't use that. I haven't used it, and you'll know why after I'm done. Why I don't use it. I've looked at so many ideas, so many things to employ my money, and I've employed my money quite a bit. And right now, my money is working hard for me. I have my money working hard for me, and sometimes I work and sometimes I don't work, and it's okay. Right now, I'm looking for ways to make my money work even harder for me, and I'm happy. So I'll give you some examples of things that I'll give you some examples of employment for that my assistant thought of. I have an assistant who works for me. She works from home. She lives in the Philippines, and my Gail, she's my assistant. She is one of my number 2 of Laws of Gold. I invested in her, and I'm very happy. I don't think I could live without her. And I'm happy. I'm so happy that that she produces lots of gold for me. So I enjoy having her work with me, and I tell her, I'm teaching her, please, I want you to be wealthy too. I don't know if that's a good strategy for a boss to tell his workers, I want you all to be rich. But I can't help it. I'm a teacher, and I love teaching, and I love sharing. So I would talk to her over and over again. Weeks and weeks go by. Weeks and weeks. I keep telling her, listen, the money that you make, you must find a way. Well, actually, first I tell her 10% you have to put aside, and it took her a while to finally get it, and then now that she got some money aside, and I said, you know what, you got to find a way to give it a job, and I wanted to express to her, because she didn't understand. It took her a while, and you got to understand too. If you find employment for your money, it doesn't mean that you should do any work. If you, say, open up a second home business, that's not employment for your money. That's employment for you. There's no way you can work too many jobs. You can't. You can if you want to. I mean, I don't know how exciting that would be, but the whole point is to find something to employ your money, have it work for you, and then hope that it returns if you find some good employment for your money, it'll return to you, and it'll return to you with more money. So the first idea she had, she told me, she came to me and says, okay, I have a great idea. Somebody told me about this, and actually it was two ideas she had, but I can't forget the first one. The one that I really remember a lot is, oh yeah, I now remember the first idea. The first idea was like a noodle stand. I don't know if I'm saying the right word, noodle or kanji. I don't know. I don't know if it's an Asian noodle stand, and they have a franchise of a noodle stand, in which her plan was to buy a noodle stand. She had a place picked out already. She had somebody who's willing to operate the noodle stand, and she would buy the noodle stand and buy the ingredients and all the stuff for the noodles, and this girl she would hire would manage it, make the noodles, sell it, and they'd split the profits. I was very excited for her. I was like, that is an awesome idea. There's a number of reasons why it's an awesome idea. Number one, you're not doing anything. You're not doing any work. That's number one. You got to understand that your money is going to be working, not you. Number two, what's amazing about that is that you if things work out, things work out, and you picked a good spot, and you had a nice plan that, and if things work out, you make money. Your money will be paying you. You'll be paying your money. The next thing is super awesome about that is once you get more money, you don't spend it, because that money is your aside money. That money, because you're putting 10%. If you continue to take 10% out of every check, out of every earning, everything, and put it aside in order to invest it and give it a job. If every month you put in 10% aside and you bought a noodle stand, and the money you make from the noodle stand you put back into the same pool of investment money, and it'll just keep growing until you can buy two noodle stands. Well, once you get two noodle stands, well things get even more beautiful, because you're still putting 10% aside. Now you have two noodle stands, and two noodle stands will give you a third noodle stand even faster. Before you know it, in a few years, you got 10 noodle stands, and you don't work anymore. And life is grand.